it going, guys? It's Josh here. I hope you're all having a good week. Now, I've reviewed quite a lot of Drevo keyboards in the past, and well, they just seem to keep making new ones. They recently sent me their latest release, the BladeMaster Pro, and on paper at least, it's their best one yet. It was also the most funded Kickstarter keyboard project of all time, which is kind of cool. And specs-wise, this thing ticks all of the boxes. It's wired and wireless, but not only 2.4 GHz wireless, it's got Bluetooth as well, with support for multiple simultaneous device connections, genuine Cherry MX switches, no cheap gamerphone, USB-C, RGB lighting, a multifunctional programmable knob, software to customize it all. I mean, on paper, like I said, it literally got everything. So let's check it out. It comes in a pretty standard black and yellow Drevo box. Inside we've got the keyboard, the USB-C cable, a keycap puller, a 2.4 GHz wireless dongle and a cleaning brush. And finally the manual and warranty card. Taking a look at the keyboard, you'll notice it looks a lot like the BladeMaster TE, and it is basically identical on the outside, the only difference being the colour of the chassis. It comes in this space grey, which looks pretty nice with the black keycaps. The keycaps are laser marked ABS, so not double sharp, but the text is engraved into each key, not printed on, so it won't ever rub off. I've noticed transparency is very good on these kind of keycaps too. General build quality is just as good as its little brother. The key plate is metal and there's no flex at all, especially with it being a 10 keyless. As I said earlier, we do get genuine Cherry MX switches on the Pro model, and you've got 5 options as well: blue, brown, red, silver and silent red. The model I've got has reds, and it's a nice change from the clicky blues that I've become so used to. Now obviously, if you're buying a mechanical keyboard, I'd recommend you go check out a video that compares different switch types so that you can decide what's going to be best for you, as it's pretty subjective. But anyway, here's a type test. One thing I've noticed, even without the legs extended, is a really steep typing angle, which might be uncomfortable for some people. I've not had any problems personally, and you could get a palm rest, but then you're going to block that nice LED strip at the bottom, so just bear that in mind. Now you can get this keyboard in US and UK layout, and there's also some dip switches on the back which let you alter the layout a little bit, like enabling Mac mode, and you can swap around a few keys like Alt and Windows. So moving on to some more features, you can use this thing wired with the included USB-C cable, or use it wireless by plugging in the 2.4 GHz wireless adapter that also comes in the box, which will give you a 1 millisecond response time, which is perfect for gaming. Now if that's not enough, it's actually got Bluetooth as well, and you can use it with several devices at the same time. So I can have it connected to my PC, my laptop and my tablet without having to change anything on the keyboard. It's really cool to have this much flexibility. You can easily switch between each mode using FN and these 3 keys right here. If you're wondering, it's got a 4000 mAh battery in it, which will do around 20 hours with the RGB lighting on and around 60 hours with the lighting off. If you're using it wireless, it kind of has a power saving mode, so when you're not using it, it'll go into standby to save battery. Moving on to lighting, I do love the light strip it's got going around the edge of the whole chassis. It just really sets it apart. Nowadays it's easy to slap some RGB backlighting on some keys. A lot of gaming keyboards are kind of all starting to look very much the same now, so I appreciate that here we've got something a bit different. Like I said, I'm a massive fan of this design, and that extra strip of LEDs around the bottom allows for some cool lighting effects. One thing I'll mention, the RGB effects are really smooth. I've seen quite a few keyboards that have quite choppy effects. I think it's something to do with the refresh rate of the LEDs, but the rainbow effect, for example, on this one blends colours really smoothly, which is what you want, and the LEDs are also very bright as well. Now, while some lighting presets are selectable from the keyboard itself, and you can save presets onto it manually, I'm going to hop into the software Drevo Power Console because it's actually pretty usable and there's a few cool features. So once you've booted up the software, you'll see these couple of devices here. Obviously, we're using the BladeMaster Pro 88, so we'll click on that one. And down the side, you'll see 4 tabs. We've got Customization, Genius Knob, Radii RGB, and Settings. Let's go to Radii RGB first to check out some of the lighting effects. So first, static, you can just select any color you want. It's pretty self-explanatory. The next one, Spectrum, is basically a nice smooth fade through the color spectrum. You can change the speed and the brightness as well. In fact, you can change speed and brightness for pretty much all of the effects here, so I'll just mention that once. Rainbow is that classic wave effect, which is definitely an all-time favorite of mine, and you can actually select the direction of the wave as well to give a slightly different effect, which is cool. Power gauge, I'll be honest guys, I don't really see the point of this one. I think it changes colour depending on how fast you type, going from like purple all the way through to red. It's kind of weird. Breathing is what you'd expect, it just breathes through the colours. You can select random colours or select a colour to breathe, it's up to you. Twinkling stars is a twinkling effect, which I quite like actually, especially with the light strip at the bottom, lighting up in different places. Reactive is where each key lights up when you press it. Again, that light strip at the bottom comes into play too, albeit in slightly random places. Marquee is a pretty crazy effect. It's probably the most obnoxious of the lot. It's just really fast and bright, but I mean, if you like that kind of thing, then you've got it here. And finally, Aurora, which is in some ways like a reactive version of Marquee. The lights kind of flow from side to side along with that light strip going around the keyboard. Now, the custom tab, I couldn't really get this to work that well, to be honest. It does need some work in the software development. I can select a key and obviously change the color of it, but if I want to use any of these quick selections, like if I select all of the keys, if I go and change the color right now, you'll see that it will crash. And yep, it's already hung, and in a second, there we go, it's locked up, and I'll probably have to reboot the program now. Moving on to the Genius knob tab, you've probably seen that little wheel on the left-hand side of the keyboard. You can assign that to do pretty much anything. There's 4 parameters by default: single click, double click, forwards and backwards. You could make a single click of that button simulate any key press. So I could select keyboard function here and press a key. You can make it launch a program, so it could have it launch Steam or something like that. It can be a Windows shortcut, a multimedia shortcut, it can simulate a mouse press, and we've even got macros as well, so I could make that simulate, I don't know, tab, shift, whatever you want really. It's kind of cool, although I'm not really sure about the practicality of the wheel itself, because you kind of have to reach around the side of the keyboard to press it, but still, you're basically getting a few extra dedicated keys to assign to anything you want, so I guess that is a bonus. The customization tab is, well, it basically has all the same options as the Genius knob tab did. So I can select a key and make it simulate any function. You can save it to the keyboard as a profile as well up here. So if you're using a certain program, you can switch to that profile easily. I've not got any activated at the moment, but for the most part, I mean, the software is pretty well thought out. In the settings tab, we've got game mode. You can disable, well, it will disable Alt-Tab, Alt-F4 and the Windows key for uninterrupted gaming. You can customize the timeout as well of the backlighting when you're using this thing wireless, and also the report rate, so we can go higher if we want to. And that is pretty much it. So what do I actually think of this keyboard? I think it's great. It's definitely Drevo's most feature-packed keyboard they've done yet. Like, it literally does have everything. I think it looks great. The fact you can use it wired, 2.4 GHz wireless and Bluetooth is pretty awesome. It's got genuine Cherry MX switches, USB-C. It's been really well thought out. 2 things I think that they could improve. I think the type-in angle is a bit too steep, especially with the fact that there's no palm rest, and the software does need some refinement as well. Like I said, when trying to go into custom and set profiles like that, it kept crashing on me, and just in general it's a little bit buggy, so Drevo need to fix that. I'd like to have seen a lot more lighting effects and options as well, like for the Aurora effect, like why not let me choose between 2 colors? Seems like the software is kind of holding it back a little bit, but apart from those couple of issues, it is a fantastic keyboard. Like I said, I am using this as my main keyboard now, and Drevo do seem to be getting better and better with every keyboard they release. They seem to actually listen to user feedback and try and improve their product. If you have any questions, guys, let me know down in the comments. I try to reply to everyone. If you enjoyed the video today, guys, I'd really appreciate a like rating and subscribe for more content. I've got lots more videos coming for you guys. Don't forget the notification bell as well. You can follow me on social media at Tesseract. Thanks for watching today, guys. I'll catch you all in the next one.